We offer the best grooming products for you. Yes, all natural and handcrafted too. We wanna help be your swagger, style, class, and luxury. Make our products tailor-made for you with high quality. Yeah. So get in style with the Black, yeah. Grooming company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah. The Black Gentleman Black, yeah. Company. To give you swagger, style, class, and luxury. In luxury, yeah.
Located at www.theblackgent.com.
Yo. What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Stormybman Live for this Thursday, December 5th, 2024. This is number 34 in the series of Stormybman Lives, and we're talking boxing 2024. Why aren't y'all fighting? Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit this evening. And also, we have a special guest with us this evening, back for a second time. This young man appeared on the Stormybman channel just a few months back as he is getting his career underway. We got the brother Keith Cologne Rodriguez in the building. What's going on with you, man? How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Listen, man, glad to have you back. It's funny because when I last, messaged you, and I was letting you know that I had got your messages and everything. You was like, "Hey, when we gonna do another live?" I was like, "Oh, this brother's ready to come on and start talking some boxing." I was like, "That's good, though." Hey, man, I'm glad to have you back. How you been since the last time we talked?
I'm always well, just keep, progressing, doing what I do, staying the course. That's it. How you?
Yeah, I understand that you had a chance to be on that card in November, man. That they had. What was that? Was that the Danny Garcia promoted fight card, right?
Yeah.
So how was that for you? How was that being on there with Danny producing the fights for that evening?
It was a great experience. Just grateful. For the exposure, for the platform. It was a great card. Just life.
Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to find it and I couldn't find it through my means of television broadcast. Was that something that was it broadcast local in Philly? Do you know, or what was?
It was live streamed.
It was live streamed. Okay. Dang, I'm sorry. I should have got some information on it before, because I didn't get a chance to see your fight. But I know that you were successful. Can you give us a little rundown about your last match? Who was the opponent, and give us a little insight on how things played out for you.
Uh, my opponent, I don't remember his name, but my opponent, he was tough. He was game. Um, I got him. I had him hurt early in the first round. Knocked him down twice. Second round, he came out, a little more fighting. Um, he ain't just lay down. He actually fought till he couldn't no more. And then I knocked him down like 30 seconds into the second round. And then the ref waved it off.
Yeah, Darren Mendoza was the gentleman's name. From the information I got here off of the box rec, he was an older gentleman. He's 35 years of age. He came in with his record of 3-4. He's 3-5 now after facing you. What's interesting is being around some of the more veteran fighters. It gives you a chance to see how people prepare, see how they carry themselves and everything. What would you say, though you only had 2 rounds with this gentleman and you guys were scheduled for 4, so you cut your battle time in half? What would you say that you came away with, the type of experience you came away from this particular match?
Going into this match, a lot of my opponents, they fought. Don't get me wrong, they fought. But this fighter in particular, he didn't lay down. So like, when he got hurt, he really tried to, he shot his low. He really tried to fight back, throwing like flurries of shots. And then it just taught me that everybody gonna respond and react differently when they hurt. He was a fighter that I was able to learn from. Just always, just, even when your opponent hurt, just always stay sharp. Don't get greedy. And that's what I learned coming out of this fight.
Yeah. Well, it's always good when you can go inside the distance. Never play with your food, and also carry something with you from that match, going forward. Because just as you were able to close the show there, just as you were able to close the show there, in the future, there may be some type of incident that you have in the ring or a circumstance in the ring where you realize that, yeah, when I stepped it up and I did this and my opponent did that, and, you could be watching out, being mindful, downloading what's transpiring. I mean, when you're living it live is one thing, but you can go back and watch some tapes of yourself and see things, and you might even see things like, man, I don't like how I had my hands, in a certain position. In this instance, I want to be a little more mindful to keep my guard up and this and that. But it has to be exciting that you are on this journey in this division, because even though there are not a lot of guys that like to watch the featherweights, featherweight can be a very exciting division. I mean, it's a great division where fighters possess an equal balance of speed and power. And a lot of times when the power is shown, I don't think people really look at the value of it, because you guys are kind of light, and when you're able to knock someone off their feet or knock them unconscious, you're carrying something, you're packing something. And it's always exciting. Like I was saying to you before we just went live, we've got some feather and super featherweights coming up this weekend. We've had some great fights throughout the year. We recently saw Oshaki Foster regain his title from Robeson Consequao. Did you get a chance to watch that particular fight?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch that fight. I heard it was a closer fight the second time around, but I heard that Oshaki did win.
Yeah, there was something that he brought to that fight that I didn't like, that I hadn't seen much of interference in his previous fights, and that was his locks. You know, he tapes them up, you know, before the fight, and in previous fights I didn't see them really be a problem, but on this particular night in his rematch with Robeson, he seemed to, maybe they've grown a little longer or something, and it was kind of like getting in the way. It was coming around on the side and he was flipping it back. But it was like when he was going in to get ready to get some work done, he had to pause for a second to flip his hair back. And, you know, in boxing, a split second is, you know, enough time for something to either happen or you have an opportunity to make something happen and it goes away very quickly. That happened several times through his fight. Lennox Lewis, when he grew out his locks, he would have a professional stylist, you know, style it in a bun on the top of his head, you know, and make it real tight. And he didn't have those kind of problems. But I think Oshaki may want to look into taking care of that, because especially if he happens to be in with a good puncher, a guy can time you and wait for you to be doing that and boom, nail you a good shot. I thought the fight was good. I thought the first fight was a excellent display of defensive skills by Oshaki. And I didn't think that Robeson won that first fight, even though he had a high work rate. His landing percentage was kind of off. I don't think he landed as many shots as judges and gave him credit for. But the second fight was a little bit closer, but I still think Oshaki won the fight. What do you think of those two guys at the weight, you know, from what you know? Did you see their first fight?
No, I didn't see their first fight either. It was done the same. Yeah, I had fought on the same card, and you know, after my fight, I was just walking around taking pictures and, you know, just, you know, talking to my family, talking to people that came out to support. So yeah. I didn't really get a chance to watch either fight.
Okay, nothing wrong with that, because you have to sometimes, because you're just getting started, really, to be able to take in the experience and the ambiance of the people and everything, family and friends. I understand that. What is it looking like for you in early 2025? Are you looking to get started in the first quarter of the year, get right back into the mix of things?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking to stay, you know, just pick up where we left off in 2024, stay busy, stay active, keep the tools sharp, and just, you know, keep progressing.
Okay, cool. Now, what city are you based in right now?
Newark, New Jersey.
Newark, okay. Are you finding, you know, your work as far as getting your sparring and everything, are you finding that's good, or are you venturing out and traveling and going to different places for your work? How is that going for you?
I mean, you know, I've been traveling, you know, to get sponsors and amateurs, so it's nothing really new. You know, we go to Philly, we go to New York, you know, we travel, we get the top rounds in with, you know, the best. So, you know, confident that we well prepared.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me, and when we spoke a few months back, you were saying that throughout your amateur career, you did a lot of traveling and everything too. So it's always good to kind of get a feel for what's happening, you know, in different parts of the world. If you get a chance to travel outside the country, are you interested in doing that?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I had an extensive amateur career, so, you know, I done fought overseas plenty of times, you know, got great international experience. You know, but if the opportunity arises where, you know, I'm able to, you know, go internationally, get some work like world champions, definitely.
Yeah. You know, as I'm looking at the landscape of boxing right now, I'm noticing that fighters out of the US, they don't seem as motivated as fighters in different parts of the world have started to become. And that has, in my eyes, led to some of the fighters from different parts of the world, like the UK, Australia, even places that, like, when you really think about it, you can go back into places like the Ukraine or even Germany. Fighters are really starting to take their craft more serious. I don't know what it is that has afflicted the American fighter in general, but I would really like to see the young talent and see, like, you are representing a new era because of where you are as far as starting your career, your record and everything. But I would like to see your contemporaries along with yourself take the reins back, of respect, because there's a lot of people, they're not respecting the Western fighters too much anymore because the values have changed tremendously. I titled tonight's show what I did, and that was before speaking with you to join me tonight, but we could still touch on the subject. And as I said, why aren't y'all fighting? That was going to be the title of tonight's show, because as we see even today, the press conference with Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, we're not seeing the fights that the fans want to see. And yeah, we're told that, it's a business and everything, but when you have top-notch fighters like Shakur Stevenson, who's from your area, and guys like Tank Davis and even someone like Teofimo Lopez, and we want to see these guys kind of mixing it up with each other. We don't want to hear them saying, "Oh, we're friends," and we don't look to face each other and stuff like that. What are your thoughts about that? Because see, those guys are further ahead and along in their careers than where you are. Do you feel, like you understand that about them and it's okay with you? Or do you kind of look at that and say, maybe I might walk a different path? Your thoughts?
I mean, the only thing that I would say is, like, for me, I'll fight anybody that's just, like, not in my gym, of course, or somebody that I just constantly spar with, because it don't make sense, if we helping each other get better constantly for years, it's like, why go, like, why go against you? It's 100 other fighters around the world, why would I want to take your shine, or why would I want to take food off your table, or why would I want to derail your career? So, and it's the same goes to anybody, like, in my gym. On a bigger scale, I don't, I ain't, whoever they put in front of me is, that's who I'm a fight, and that's just what it's going to be.
Did you have a nemesis from your amateurs that, like you said, man, one day when we become pros, I might end up facing this guy? Do you have one of those guys from your amateur career that you look at and say, like, maybe if I see him again, I'm going to make sure I'm going to show him I got the upper hand? Has it been someone like that for you in your career?
Yeah, but I don't want to give nobody.
You don't have to say names, but I'm just saying, have you found that to be
something? More the fact that everybody got a different path, and coming into the pro game, climbing up the ranks. A lot of, like, they might get knocked off by, like, a competition that they may overlook, and our path may never cross again. But yeah, it's definitely people that I want to get back in the ring with, and to make a great fight out of it, of course.
Yeah, I hear you. Was what I also like is, like, when you're on your you're on your little path that you find yourself you seem to be focused on what you do and that only. And in a sense, that could be a very good thing. Um, if you're not watching what's going on around you too much, it'll leave you the opportunity to have more tunnel vision and focus toward your agenda. But it's still also good to just observe the landscape, because even where someone else may be having some success, or if they have some slippage, you can learn from things by observing as well. As I said before, it's a lot of people that don't watch the lighter divisions unless somebody is really doing something spectacular. Then it may catch their eye. But I watch boxing across the board. I watch all the way down to the little flyweights and the minimums and on up to the heavyweights. Like we got a pretty darn good fight coming up, a rematch between Figueroa and Fulton. That's going to be kind of exciting, because those two guys fought a couple of years ago, and they fought really a nip and tuck match. Figueroa came out of that fight feeling like he had, done enough to get the victory, if not at least a draw. But Fulton came out of that fight with the win. And then shortly after that, he went over to face Inoue in Japan, and of course he suffered his first loss. Do you have any thoughts about guys like that, or did you get a chance to see their fight, Figueroa and Stephen Fulton?
I thought that was a great fight. I thought Stephen Fulton pulled it out. Figueroa, he threw a lot of punches. Sometimes, just that's just his game, throwing a bunch of punches, whether they land or not. But at the end of the day, it's a hurt business. You hurt and don't get hurt. So I feel as though that Stephen Fulton was successful in that fight. I feel like it was justice, but now they get to run it back again, and that's a fight that I'm excited for as well.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. Good boxing is just good boxing. I mean, I've never been as much a fan of an individual participating as I have been in the sport overall, because I find, you could have your favorite fighters or whatever, but just to love the sport. I remember days like when I was your age, I could be flipping through my channels on a Friday or Saturday night, and they had the Spanish channel Telemundo. And on Telemundo, on a certain Friday night or Saturday night, man, they'll have a card of boxing on, and it's like it'd be a few guys, a few bouts that nobody you knew, and then you might find a journeyman that you were familiar with who happens to be just fighting on the card. And you'd be like, oh, I know him. He fought Chavez, or he fought this guy, and it's like I would tune in and watch those, and though I couldn't understand the Spanish speaking announcers, I would still be watching the action, man. And it was like I was always finding myself being highly entertained by those fights. And sometimes those fights are even better than, what would be deemed as the bigger names in the sport sometimes, because those guys are really trying to assert themselves, trying to get someone to take note of them, or even put themselves in a position to get a better ranking in contention, or even a title shot. So I would often tune in to bouts like that. Have you been paying attention to the Riyadh season events that Turki Al-Sheikh has been producing these past few months with what he's been doing over in Saudi?
Yeah, I watched a couple of those fights, but mainly with boxing. If I'm tuning in, it'll just be for like a fight that I'm familiar with, a big fight, or But that's pretty much it. Like I won't really pay attention to the whole card. It just be, like I said, a fight that I'm familiar with, or like a big fight that's been stirred up. That's
Yeah, what I like about those events and cards are they're lining these men up to be in more competitive bouts, you know, more 50-50 like bouts, or even 60-40 or whatever, but never where they're scheduled to be like blowouts. You know, it's like it can end up being a blowout, but on paper you're looking like, I don't know who could win this, you know. And that provides so much more entertainment and interest. And also those events, when they are pay-per-view, he's made them more affordable. It's like, dude, that is like one of the most solid things he could have done when he started putting on these events. That's like coming up this December, Usyk and Fury 2. It's gonna be like $40 pay-per-view. And then when you look at all the good fights that's on that card, it's like for $40, hell yeah. You know, I'm gonna be watching that. So I like that. Your thoughts on that, on them making, you know, like, you know, loaded cards, but at a real affordable price.
You know, like I said, that's nice. And I feel like, you know, it's just bringing it into entertainment back to boxing. You know, who wouldn't want to see two people, you know, that's good at what they do, scrap for a nice piece of change, and you get to watch it for, you know, not as much how it normally is, but you know, it's just appreciation. You know, you just only appreciate somebody, you know, that's doing that for the sport.
Do you think that you have some contacts that can help you get over there to see one of the events live? Hopefully, because that would be a hell of an experience for you, man, to get you over there. You know, even if you can kind of get on one of those, you know, prelim bouts, you know, before the big event or whatever, because the exposure is it's a son of a gun. And I've been hearing a lot of positivity from fighters who have participated. They say they treat the fighters very well over there, man.
You know, definitely. You know, when opportunity arrives, you know, we all for it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I like to see it, you know, really take off. We got the chat out there, and I see a lot of my regulars out there in the chat. I'm going to ask anybody in the chat, you know, you guys, if you guys have some questions for Keith, write something up in the chat and we can ask him, because I don't want to seem like I'm talking to a point of where I don't touch on something that people might want to ask you about with your career. So anybody got some questions? Yeah. So I see we got Eric Jordan out there. That's my man. Jimmy Bernard, Black Martial Arts Society. What's going on? Showers out there. Messenger 215. Kamaran Fields. Who else we got? Snoopy Mac. Snoopy Mac is out there this evening. My brother Drew Titan LLC. Drew is working, I know. King Styles Productions is in the building. Antonio MMA. Yeah. You guys can, Derek Gaines, you can ask some questions. We got the brother Keith on here this evening. And Keith wanted to come out. He wanted to come out and promote himself, you guys. So let's show the brother some love. Come up with some questions for him. Yeah, I have this image I'm gonna put up here on the screen. This is something I was able to get together before it went live, because I sometimes like to put images up on the screen. Got you here, man. Capturing you in a good moment there. Landing that good left hook on the guy. So yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, the messenger 215 is out there. He's asking you, Keith. He says, "Are you married or plan to?"
No, I'm not married. I'm not married. Nah. Do I plan to? In the future, yeah, but I'm not married. Nah.
Yeah, messenger 215. The brother's trying to get that career going, man. We don't need no side tracks or derailings right now. You know, let him focus up. Because you know they all be out there waiting, man. They be trying. So we know that. Shower is asking, she says, "You're a featherweight right now. What division do you see yourself in down the line?" She says 10 years, but we'll say down the line because you know, with your height and your weight presently, and you're 22, 23 years old. How old are you?
22.
22. You're 22. Where do you see yourself maxing out weight wise?
I see myself maxing out around 135. Yeah, around there, 135.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so Shower, he says about 135. That's where he can see himself, a lightweight, full-fledged lightweight. And I'll tell you something. Even if you get to that division, there's always going to be some good competition there because those fighters there are kind of tweeners. They're in between being light and they're in between becoming heavier. And when I say heavier, because that whole thing with welterweight and junior welterweight, you know, before the minimum, now I shouldn't say minimum, before the middle divisions like junior divisions came along, sometimes you had guys who couldn't max the weight, but they would be within the range of a couple of pounds. And it really made a difference because some of the men who were full solid welterweights, you know, the junior division is served certain guys, but for other guys it would make them, because if you were a lightweight, you were a lightweight, and if you didn't feel that you could press up to welterweight, those few pounds that you could be over the lightweight division still will find you being a little too small for a full-fledged welterweight. So it's really weird how that happened. When Tommy Hearns fought at welterweight, he was 6'1", and he was knocking people stone cold, but he was skinny as a rail, you know, when he first started. And his nickname then was the Motor City Cobra, you know, Tommy Hearns. So it's like, and he went all the way on up to cruiserweight in his career, amazingly. My brother Drew Titan is asking, he says, how long can you skip on the rope before you get tired, Keith?
I can jump rope. I can jump rope all day. You know, I'm in shape. I want to get tired jumping rope.
Yeah, our brother Drew Titan, he's definitely a rope jumping brother. He jumps rope, so that's part of his regular workout. So I can understand why he have that interest. The old time trainers used to say, never jump in one place, move forward, backward, side to side, because they said it was bad for the heart just to jump in one place all the time. It's kind of one of those things that the old trainers used to say, but also it's good to be on the move when you're jumping rope. It's an aerobic exercise that when people get very good at it, you can make a game of it and also get a different type of a workout with the way you can move. There have been certain fighters throughout their careers who could put on rope jumping exhibitions, and that has always been pretty cool. I remember Ray Leonard used to do it. Floyd used to do it. There's been a few guys who could really put on a real good jump rope show. Have you seen a few of those guys do that stuff?
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it coming up a while back in the little videos from back in the day.
Yeah. We got the brother King Styles Productions. He's asking, how many fights would you like to have in 2025? That's a good question.
2025, you aim to have about five fights in that year. You know, staying busy.
Now, what I would like to ask you based on that particular question, Keith, is like your last fight was a 4-rounder. And according to what I see on your box rec, you are presently 3-0. Do you think that you would like to move up to maybe 6 rounds within your next couple of fights, or do you think it's going to be predicated on your performances? What do you think?
No, it's not after this fight. It's not this fight. After this fight, I'll be moving up to 6 rounds.
Okay, yeah. And let me see. Phenomenal Mexican had a question for you. He says, who are your top 3 dream matches? Forgive me, Phenomenal Mexican. I didn't skip you on purpose, bro.
My top 3 dream matches. I'm gonna be honest. Dream like that. That's a tough question. I really got one person in mind. You know, just because he's the face of the division for the lightweights. You know, in a way. He's considered like the monster of the whole lightweight division. So it's just like that right there. Be like that's a dream match. For me. To be his spotlight, his skills, how people recognize his skills. That's how I would want people to recognize me and look to me as. So to be able to fight him and take his crown, like that'd be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's hey, I have to give it to you guys. You guys are coming up with some pretty good questions for the brother, because see, when you have an ear to the ground and you make yourself accessible to the people, these are the kind of things that they be wondering and everything. They don't never get a chance to talk to a fighter directly. And sometimes we can ask certain questions that they would like to hear the answers to. But then when you get down into specifics like that, that's, it's nice. And it's especially great when a fighter like yourself make yourself available for these people, because they will remember you. It's like as you climb that ladder of success and you become it, and they'll be like, man, I remember when he was on Stormy talking and we was asking them questions and this and that. So, just know that this is a great experience for you to carry with you, because they want to know. They want to be a part of that process. The Messenger 215 is coming back with a question for you, asking, are there any other sports that you're good at?
Yeah, growing up, I played baseball. I play every sport: baseball, basketball, football. But now, I'm older, focusing on what's important, boxing, sticking to my craft. But in my free time, I still play basketball, stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
For sure.
Something about that boxing, huh? Gotta lay hands on a sucker.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you run into Shakur much? Because you both are from Newark.
Yeah. Whenever he's like hours out here, he come down here for sure. Like no these smaller city. So it's
I rib him a lot on my channel because I know he's a talented young brother, but I just want to see him go out there and fight people. I know that certain individuals make excuses and everything, but in order for the fights to take place, a lot of times both parties will have to make certain type of concessions for it to take place, whether it be something monetary, whether it be, agreeing upon a site and things like that. But what I don't like is seeing these men get older and older, and the opportunity for them to face their opposition at their best. I don't like to see that when that window closes up, because it's like when you guys are in your prime, you're less likely to get as injured, believe it or not, when you're in a perpetual youthful prime, as opposed to a guy coming out of a prime or even has passed the prime, and you sustain the kind of, injury and damage that it takes more time and the wear and tear of the sport to heal and repair from. So some of the guys don't understand that, but it's a lot different. Even if a guy gets stopped, but he's in his early 20s, or he hasn't crossed the threshold of 30 years old or yet, or whatever, it's a lot different than a guy that's 32 or 33 and he gets stopped. It's a different type of punishment that's inflicted on the body. And young fighters need to know that. You say you're 22. Do you know that when Tommy Hearns and Ray Leonard fought for the first time, Tommy was 22 years of age and Ray Leonard was 25? That was when they fought the first time. They fought again 8 years later, but that first time they met each other, Tommy was 22. So, King Style Production is asking, what do you like to eat the night before a fight?
Night before fight, everything's filling, So we try to get, we try to up the carbs, pasta, things that are typically take longer for my body to digest, so come fight night, I can have stuff to burn out. I don't want to eat anything super light or that's not high in carbs. So anything that's high in carbs, pasta, oatmeal, sweet potato, stuff like that. Steak.
Yeah. And that's that one time, I guess, throughout your prep leading up to a fight when you can put that stuff in. That's why some of you guys, when you hit that scale on the day of the weigh-in, you be looking like this. And then you come back on fight night and you're like, it's like, yeah. But hey, man, especially for you guys that are still kind of grown, because it's funny, to see 24 hours later, it's like, wow, that don't even look like the same cat,
Yeah, everything is food, but it really be the liquid. They don't. I'm pretty sure a lot of folks will vouch for it. It really be the liquids. You gotta think. So a lot of people, they dehydrate themselves, trying to make weight. So now they got, and then 24 hours later they going into a fight, where they getting punched in their head. So they gotta make sure that they put the liquids back in the brain into the body to protect themselves. It's not really about the food; it's more so about the liquids.
The liquids, yeah. And you need fluid around the brain too, because a lot of guys that dry themselves out, people don't know you have fluid around the brain. That's a natural fluid, but when you become dehydrated, that's how head injuries can happen, because that fluid that's normally there has been extracted to a degree too, to dehydrating yourself. And that can be a dangerous thing. You know, Bruce Lee, who was very well known for his physique, right, on film, how he looked um, in the last months of his life, he was very, very light. And he was suffering from headaches a lot. I think that he was really drying himself out too much because he had a I think that he had a compulsive obsessive compulsive disorder. I think he had this thing about how he looked. You know, just like some people who suffer from anorexia, they feel that they're fat even though they're skinny as hell, and they feel like they just want to, you know, I gotta lose another couple of pounds. And it's like, man, you look like a skeleton, you know, but it's a illness. I think he suffered a little bit from that, where he thought that if he could just extract a little bit more water out of his body or whatever, he can, you know, really look a certain way. And he was walking around like that. It wasn't like he was doing it for a competition or something. He was doing it because he liked how he looked, but it became a thing to the point that it was unhealthy, you know. And then when you mix in like certain things that he was allegedly doing with substances, it didn't help at all. So you have to be careful. Keep that water jug with you. Phenomenal Mexican is asking, are you comfortable with the southpaws, and have you fought a southpaw yet?
Yeah, I fought a southpaw my first fight. Got the first round knockout. And he was 4-1, so you know it wasn't like it was just a walkover. My pro debut, I fought a 4-1 southpaw, and I got the first round knockout. But second round knockout.
Yeah, yeah. So do you find difficulty in southpaws, or it don't matter to you? You probably faced a lot of them in the amateurs, right?
Yeah, I had extensive amateur career, so you know it don't. I even fight southpaw. It don't really matter to me.
Yeah, and that was the way when I was working with guys in the gym. I used to try to tell them, it's like, it doesn't matter if a person is fighting southpaw or orthodox. You still have to find a way to get at a guy and do certain things. So once you learn how to go about your work and your business, just because one guy is fighting on one side and instead of another that may be more common to you facing, it's like it's still, you still got to fight. You still got to do. People put a lot of emphasis on that, but a complete fighter shouldn't worry about that at all. Not at all. Not if you're a complete fighter. I would say one of the things that would be a concern for a fighter is another fighter's footwork, because his footwork is something that you just can't do too much about. You can do a lot about a guy's hand speed, you know, and his athleticism to a certain degree, because you close the distance off as far as hand speed, and you crowd him physically and everything as far as the athleticism. But the footwork, learning how to cut that ring off and get a guy down with his timing and stuff like that, that's one of the most difficult skill sets to learn how to best the guy at and get over on him. So yeah. Give us an idea, like when you're in the gym, what is a normal training day for you, like when you go to the gym? How early do you start, and what time do you end your training for a regular training day?
Yeah, I typically start my training session around 3 p.m. And they kind of end around 5:30, 6 o'clock. Maybe we could start off with a warm up. It is different, each and every day. The reason for that is because you don't want, you just constantly do the same routine over and over again, your body going to adjust, to the routine, and it's not going to impact you the same way. So by constantly doing different things, your body will never be able to adjust to it. And then, so yeah, like I said, it look different every day. So we start up, and then after the warm up, we get to the boxing part. Different, like same thing with the boxing aspect of the training. We work on different things every day, whether that's speed, power, combinations, defense, inside, mid range, outside, jazz. It varies, and then after that, we just kind of cool down, and then we finish off. Well, I'll finish off with sit-ups, push-ups, and then stretch out.
Okay. Yeah. When you run, do you run for time or do you run for distance? When you do your road work?
It just depends. I do both.
Okay. That's good. It's good that you do both, because it's like you can get the time in and you can get the distance in. Distance for the endurance, time is for be able to pick up your we used to do these drills where we try to pick your heart rate up and drop the heart rate down to relax yourself a little bit, because you can find yourself in a match where the exertion and then recovery, that's very important. Very important. Do you swim?
Yes.
You swim? Okay. Is swimming a part of your training as well when you are prepping for a fight?
Yeah, swimming. We got a whole pool routine that I do. Me and my coach, we got a whole pool routine that we do. Typically, like every Saturday, certain weeks away from the fight.
That's good, because like sometimes the swimming is so good because it's not a lot of stress on the muscles. It's really good. We got a couple more questions. Phenomenal Mexican was asking, oh, I'm sorry, I got that one already. The Messenger 215 is asking, what's on your playlist these days when you train? What kind of music are you listening to?
I listen to a variety of different things, but mainly people from my city. I try to support, bring people out. I had Aldi Al, a Jersey legend, had him come out to my last fight, walk me out. Fight before that, I had Flea, he's from my city, the best artist coming out of North. So I just try to bump those type of guys, the Jersey natives, and when I just keep doing their thing, where I'm doing my thing. We support each other.
Yeah. That's cool. Always and regional music is something else, because you'll hear a sound from someplace in particular, you'd be like, who is that? And they'd be like, and next thing you know, you'd be like, man, I like that, So yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you. Music is something too, because in our gym, we used to play music a lot, but the head coach, my mentor, Eddie, he used to love to play James Brown. James Brown was always blaring in his gym, and it was like, he played upbeat James Brown songs, the slow songs. He just played James Brown, man. And there was a day when the tape recorder, because he had this old boom box in the gym, had it in there for years, but somebody had misplaced the James Brown tape, and we had opened the gym up one day, and there was no music, and everybody was sad because it was like there was no music in the gym. But it wasn't that it was just no music. It was like they had gotten so used to listening to James Brown while they working out and doing their routines and sparring and everything. It's like they just couldn't catch the feel. We hurry up and found that tape, though. It's like, somebody had just put it somewhere, and but that was very, very interesting to see that. Okay, we got another question for you here. Sha was asking, last I recall, you aren't with a major promotional company. Do you intend to stay independent, or are you interested in any of the big promotional companies picking you up?
Right now, you just want to stay independent. You feel like that's the best way to go. Especially a lot of contracts is ending with these promotional companies, meaning like a lot of TV broadcasters, like top ranking ESPN, that's coming to an end. You got the Zone and Matchroom, then you got PBC. You got PBC and Amazon Prime. So right now we just staying independent. We got connections with pretty much every, like we got connections with Top Rank, we got connections with PBC and Matchroom. So it's like it doesn't make sense to just cut my just section myself out just to one promotional company. When I have good relationships with all of them, I'm able to get on those type cards. Right now I'm just climbing up the ranks. So there's no purpose of me to just sign right now. Right now.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Let's see what else here we got. Phenomenal Mexican is asking, you plan on ever coming out with Redman?
If the opportunity arises, for sure.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trying to think of if I have anything else I wanted to ask you. I was going to run that by you about what you think about this weekend's card. We got two amazing repeat or revenge scenario matches. The Navarrete versus Valdez 2, which is going to be for the junior lightweight, super featherweight title and championship. I think that's the WBO there. And then Rafael Espinoza against Robeisy Ramirez in a featherweight championship rematch, which saw these two men both hit the canvas the first time around. Man, let me tell you something. This was an exciting fight, and I was watching it live, and Robeisy always cracks me up because he knows he's heavy-handed, right? So when he hits guys, he kind of like be smiling at them and stuff like, yeah, that hurt, didn't it? And he be like going at him. And then he dropped Espinoza in that fight. I think it was the third or fourth round. And Espinoza got up and fought back, man. And the guy is 6'1", I think, at featherweight. Dude, that's a tall guy, Keith. What you gonna do when you get in there with a 6-footer, bro?
Beat him up.
You gonna beat him up? Okay. Yeah, but that Espinoza, he got up and he went on to drop Robeisy, I think, in the last round or the next to the last round. But that fight, it was a very exciting fight, and it ended up being a split decision, But what an exciting fight between those two guys, man. I mean, they really put on a show that evening. So I could imagine that this rematch is going to be all that they could ask for and more. It's going to be a heck of a fight, man. It's going to be a heck of a fight. And shoot, man, I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight. I can't wait to see it. But that Valdez and Navarrete, do you think that Valdez can do something a little different to make this fight, change its outcome? Your thoughts?
Definitely. I feel like for him being in there first time, he knows what Navarrete brings to the table. So this fight, he won't have to do too much adjusting. He just have to apply his training. I feel like the first fight, probably had to adjust to like the punches coming from different weird angles. But now he knows what to look out for. So he don't really have to do too much adjusting. He just has to, just everything come together and just, apply his training to the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be. I believe that if Valdez can operate from mid range to close up, he could change things up. I think that Navarrete doesn't always get himself in the best of condition. And I think he relies a lot on his heavy-handedness. I don't think he's a knockout puncher, but he's heavy-handed and strong, and he's unorthodox. And by his hands being heavy, he could catch you on weird angles and everything and stun people. But Valdez, if he keeps a tight defense and gets in on the inside on him, he can eat him up like Pac-Man. That's what I think. But if he's willing to do it and go to work in that regard to do so, it could end up going a lot like it went the first time around. But those are, kind of my thoughts on that. But this is it's a heck of a matchup, though. That's a heck of a matchup. And I like the fact that it's like a double header like that, because they could have stretched it out and put one on one card and the other on another card and, stretch it out. But they're going to be on the same night, man. I hope to be right there watching it, because I think we're going to see something special there. So your final picks on those two matches, Keith.
I have Valdez and Ramirez winning.
Okay. So revenge for both fights, you're saying? Yeah. Okay. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. I know they talked about the presser that was up yesterday and today. Do you think this is ever going to go down?
I think it's up to Tank. Whatever he decides, it's just in the air right about now.
I'm gonna tell you something. It would be a disservice for both of them, primarily Tank, because you're right, it is up to Tank. But it would be a disservice to the sport if these men don't try to make this happen. I liken it to like going back into the early 90s when Riddick Bowe had a chance to get in there against Lennox Lewis. And instead of doing that, he threw his championship belt in the garbage. And they never fought each other. This is the type of fight that boxing yearns for, and legacy-seeking fighters chomp at the bit for. It needs to happen. But I am not going to hold my breath, and I am not going to beg these men, because we got younger fighters on the horizon coming along who can help us to forget all about these gentlemen that don't want to get in there and face one another. See, that's the thing they forget about. The window closes and their time passes, and a new era, a new day is born, and they have to realize that. But, it may be sweet now, but in the future, you never know. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. So any final thoughts and words, Keith? Anything that you wanted to share with our listening, viewing audience that you might want to make them aware of?
Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you for having me.
Thank you for showing up, brother, because, you know, I told you, whenever you want to come on, I will not turn you down. I'm excited to watch your career grow and to see you grow as a man and a fighter. You're always welcome here. You can always come on. You can hit me up and say, "Hey, Stormy, I got something. I got some news I want to drop on the people." I'll be like, "Okay, let's do it." So, yeah. So, the Messenger 215 is asking your top 5 fighters, dead or alive. Your top 5 boxers, dead or alive.
This not answer, but I like Macho Camacho, Willie Pett, Ricardo Lopez, Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard. That's my 5.
Okay, can you say them one more time for me, please? I'm sorry.
Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Macho Camacho, Ricardo Lopez, and Willie Pett.
It's interesting, and I think I told you this before, because I think you said something along the lines that had us arrive at Ricardo Lopez, but it is so gratifying to hear a young man like yourself mention Ricardo Lopez, because he is such he was such an amazing champion and fighter that I almost consider his career done a huge disservice by legendary promoter Don King, because he fought on a lot of Don King's cards and Don just didn't promote him. It was almost like Don didn't want him to overshine Julio Cesar Chavez. But he very well may have been better than Chavez, even though he was a smaller man and fought at a lighter division. Ricardo Lopez was an amazing fighter, man. I remember watching his bout one time, and he knocked the guy out with an uppercut, and he threw it like the fighter was jabbing at him, and he slipped and threw it under his jab where he couldn't see the shot. And when he hit him with the uppercut, it was like a delayed reaction, and dude just dropped. I forget the name of the fighter who he fought and did that way, but it's like, and it was on a Mike Tyson undercard where Lopez was fighting on the second fight of the night or something. He was like buried on the undercard. I was like, that man needs his own main event. But he was amazing. Amazing fighter. What about him tickles your fancy? What was it about Lopez for you?
His footwork, his composure, his jab, things, his explosiveness. He was always able to get his fighters up out of there. He's a real explosive fighter, real entertainer.
Yeah, amazing fighter, and he had dynamite in both hands too. Just amazing fighter. Great and great list of fighters. King Style says, "I'm gonna watch some of your fights later tonight, Keith."
Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're gonna get ready to wrap things up. Don't want to keep you too long, brother. You need to get your rest. And thank you so much for coming by and, sharing some time with us and letting us know what's happening with you. And we look forward to having you back in the future. We look forward to it.
Thanks for having me.
Matter of fact, you can, when you get word that whenever your next fight is going to be in early 2025, if you want to come on and tell us about it, and everything, you can drop that news here if you want.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. Okay, take it easy, man. Okay. All right. Peace to you. Okay. All right. That's the brother Keith. Cologne. What a dynamite young fighter he is. Great opportunity for him to come on and share with us. You see, having these young men before they get tainted by all the riffraff and stuff like that, and when they have an ear to the ground with fan and support from people who love the sport, that's what keeps them grounded, you know, and that works to their advantage because they could say, look, these are my people. This is who's following me. This is where my support is. That's the kind of thing that they need, man. And to have a sense of belonging, have a sense of backing and support, it can carry a long way. Some people lose that. You know, they get away from who builds them along and helps support them and things of that nature. Keep their feet planted on solid ground, so to speak, you know? It's very important to know that. So, yeah. And great questions, you guys. You came in with some very, very good questions. And thank you all for participating and helping us with that like that. Thank you so much, you know. And Stephen L says, great, another great show, Sensei. Thank you, sir. King Style says, excellent interview, Stormy. Well, you know me, man. I just try to talk to these guys and let them be themselves. Don't try to put no pressure on them or nothing like that. Just, you know, it's what it is. So, yeah. I enjoyed that. Keith is a solid young man, and he's cool as a cucumber. You hear me when I said, Keith, that Rafael Espinoza is a tall dude, man. He's 6'1". What you do when you get in there with somebody like him? He said, beat him up. That's the right answer. I love it, man. That's what you're supposed to say. Beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even hesitate. It was like he was waiting on me to ask that question. What you gonna do to him? Keep me out. Beat him up? Shit. Yeah. See? That's what's up, man. That's why you gotta catch these guys when they fresh as a daisy. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like they can whoop King Kong. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. But yeah, before we get out of here, we're going to hear from my man, the Focus Ball, huh? Yeah.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
Yeah. Hope you guys had a chance to assess what you might want to pick up for yourself as far as the merchandise. The focus balls for you who are athletic and looking to enhance your timing, reflexes, and overall athletic skills. The Streamlabs merchandise for Stormybman, where you can enjoy the mugs, the hoodies, the tees, the jackets. And then there's also the A Weapons Stormybman merch, which is the newest to the lot, where you can have an assortment of all types of gear with new designs, hats, logos, labels, all for those of you who enjoy supporting the man and his brand. Yeah. Well, we're going to get ready to say goodnight and move on into the weekend. And as Shawa has stated, we have tons of fight this weekend. It's a wonderful fight weekend for boxing, straight across the board on several different networks. So there is something in the bag for everyone. With that being said, I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace to everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.